Just sitting here watching a bunch of Blackhawk hockey.
All right, welcome everybody to Culz Sports Chat, episode 10. That's right, we've done 10 of these. Pretty crazy that we've reached double digits already so quickly. And this week, we're going to talk about a lot. Obviously, football's going on. We're also a third of the way through fantasy, and as you can see by the thumbnail, the top of the league is starting to kind of form. But it's still early. Who knows who's going to get number one, who's going to not make the playoffs. Hockey starts this week. We're in the middle of playoff baseball. So lots to talk about. College football's going, so it's a good time to be a sports fan. Looks like we got quite a bit of guests joining us. We got Matt. We got Bobby, Brendan, and Ty. So, I see Matt's Jets. And are you referring to their easy navigation through the construction zone, as most people are referring to the Broncos jerseys as cones because they were orange with a white top? Are you referring to that, Matt?
Well, absolutely, and like I said, just for the fact that Nathan Hackett got his sweet revenge on Sean Payton, and he did it very humbly. He didn't say anything. He just went out there, took care of business. I was cheering for him in that sense. That I find it very unprofessional what Sean Payton did. Yes, he did come out a couple days later and apologize for saying what he said, but still, there's a line of professionalism that was crossed there, and I was very happy that Hackett was able to come out on top and kind of like shut people down or shut people up for a while.
Yeah, he took the words out of the horse's mouth for sure.
Yeah, and I was trying to pull up before I spilled water all over me. I was trying to pull up a thing that Brandon Perna of That's Good Sports had put, because here it is. First 5 weeks into this season, Denver has lost to their former head coach Josh McDaniels, defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio, head coach Vic Fangio, ball boy Mike McDaniel, and former head coach Nathaniel Hackett.
That one, I have to laugh because it's funny to get beat by your former ball boy. He was only 11.
Yep. Right. Well, and he was definitely somebody the Broncos could have had as their head coach last year. I don't know if he made any of the interview.
They didn't interview him at all.
They didn't interview him, but yeah. So, I mean, can you say the Broncos shot themselves in the foot with that one? You can't really say yet. Tell the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, but you look at it right now today going, well, did we make a mistake not hiring him?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's one did the Broncos make a mistake on. Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he's been with the Denver organization via his dad, right? And then you also see who's their GM. John Lynch.
Yep.
Brian Greasy's a quarterback. I mean, it's all Broncos. How did they not get that?
Ex-Broncos. Right now, I think they're primed over the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, NFC has, the two big dogs right now, Eagles and Niners, so that should be a pretty good matchup. I know a lot of people see the Lions as number 3. AFC, I have no idea. I mean, I know the Chiefs are winning. I don't know if I trust them to go all the way.
Well, and here's the team, like the Patriots. We haven't been able to say their name being outside of that contender spot for a long time. I mean, maybe last year, yeah, but now definitely they are totally a team that's going to need a full rebuild. And, the Patriots are no longer the Patriots. They dominated the sport of football for a long time, and they're no longer that top dog team anymore.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are like, let's get rid of Belichick, but can you get rid of Belichick? Like, they have no talent. No talent. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, like, if it happens, because we've seen crazy things happen. But personally, I don't know I don't think it's passed him by. I just don't think he has talent, because he's held really good offenses to low scores. I mean, look what they did to Miami. They didn't give up 70 points.
Ain't that the truth?
Really good old Riley Smith.
Well, and what about the straining relationship between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton? I mean, we've definitely seen it now. I mean, we know Peyton's taking jabs, so he's taking jabs at a lot of people. But now during the game, he's telling Russ, I think he said, you got to get rid of the ball faster. It's hard. I'm not a good lip reader.
Yeah, he said that.
And Russ just ignores him.
Well, the camera cut away. You could see Russ was turning his head back to say something, but then the camera went off. I'm like, no, keep the camera on that. That's more entertaining than the game.
Oh, man. And talk about bad games. Last night's game, not a good football game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. In my eyes, it was kind of lopsided. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know if it was lopsided. It was just like one team was sucking, and then the other team would suck just a little bit more. And then the defense for one side would do good, and then the defense for the other. And it was just like, can anyone play like team football?
Well, I mean, bad footballs are bound to come, especially on prime time. But thank goodness, the NFL moved to that flex. It's been about 5-6 years ago where they could move games in and out. Now, I was super excited. Got my tickets for the Vikings here in Denver, and with both teams on the way they're going, easily could both be 1-9 come that matchup for Week 11, and easily get flexed out. So now I'm like disappointed because I was super excited. Primetime game, Vikings, Broncos, and neither team is living up to what they should be doing right now.
Well, and this is a question for both you as a Viking fan, but Brendan as a fantasy football coach. Justin Jefferson is on IR for at least 4 weeks, right? Do they actually bring him back this year if they lose all four and they're 1-8? Would they actually think about bringing Jefferson back?
I think they would, just because he gives them the best chance to win. So I don't think they're trying to lose. I think they're actually trying. But I don't even know what's going on in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. Like I said, we were supposed to already had him locked up to a long-term contract, but now that contract talks have halted during the season. He doesn't want it to be a distraction, but the question is Jefferson going to want to play again if he comes back? And the Vikings are, let's say they lose those next four and they're 1-7, 1-8 at that time where he needs to come back. Does he want to play and risk an injury playing for a team that he knows isn't going to go anywhere? And is he going to re-up with Minnesota? I mean, it's concerning, but, I'm very impressed with the addition of Addison. I think he's doing great right now. He's a threat, and we just don't have that dual threat right now.
Brendan, your thoughts as a fantasy manager, how are you handling the Jefferson hiatus?
I guess good thing I have Calvin Ridley and didn't trade Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins, I guess, because I can't my team is falling apart.
Oh, I know
It's a championship.
Your backup quarterback's a healthy scratch, medically cleared, might not play this week either.
I think that was more of a let's be cautious type, because last week was their bye week and they have so much money put into him that they don't want him to go out and get hurt. I think he'll be fine this week and going forward. But, Devontae Adams is dealing with a shoulder injury. James Conner, my best running back, was just put on IR. So I'm slowly losing people.
You've gotten the Birmingham Bats treatment of injuries. Ty, I know you're dealing with a lot of injuries as well in fantasy.
Just a few. Not just our league either.
I mean, you've gotten like a bunch of running backs on IR, I saw.
Yeah. Seeing a couple back within the next week. What time's gonna tell. A little surprised that he got kind of difficult to win this week.
All right, let's look at some more scores from last week. 49ers just decimating Cowboys. Brennan, as an Eagle fan, were you happy?
I was shocked.
You were shocked.
Especially after he picked the Cowboys to win on our call last week.
Oh,
Did I? Damn.
Did you? Oh,
Well,
Brett.
maybe I jinxed him.
No, you didn't. I think Keegan was giving you a hard time going on. Here we go with Brendan picking the Cowboys.
But yeah, I wouldn't know. Seriously, I was shocked. I honestly thought it was going to be a better game, and I thought it was going to be a good test for Brock Purdy. And maybe I just accept that he's a good quarterback, and he's finally proven himself because he's like 9-0 now in preseason or in regular season, and
10-0, I think.
I think the Cowboys was supposed to be a really good test, and he played them like he was playing against a Philly team.
Yeah, some really pretty passes. That is for sure.
Here's the thing, though, with the Niners, Purdy, Kittle, Samuel, and McCaffrey can all stay healthy. They will top. On top of that, you know what the star on the helmet of the Cowboys?
Yeah, no, I definitely think if they're all healthy, they Super Bowl favorite right there.
Dude, you can't be. You got his dad. The logo on the Cowboys. Logo, it's a rating.
All right, that brings us. Let's see. Where'd I go?
I mean, to be honest, I think Philly could give him a shot. If Detroit stays healthy, they could do it. The NFC South is kind of a joke right now, so I can't say anything.
Well, let's go to the NFC North. We saw Chicago look pretty dominant on Thursday Night Football. What is it? 8 touchdowns, 1 interception last 2 games for Justin Fields. I know a lot of people are calling for. Yeah, I never doubt it. A lot of people are calling for Caleb Williams next year. Do not give up on Justin Fields. Out of USC, which quarterbacks have worked out? That's all I got to say. Carson Palmer is probably about the only one.
Yeah.
Matt Leinart for a short stint out of there. His didn't last long.
No.
Just like when Houston came into the league, 12, they drafted Derek Carr's brother, David. He's a bust. Or was. He didn't last long. It's just these different quarterbacks that you really can't put anything on.
Right. And I think Caleb, I haven't really watched a ton of Caleb Williams. We watched a little bit up in Wyoming on the TV when they were playing Boulder, but that was about my experience watching him. I know the USC defense is trash.
But the offense is hot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess they're winning. So, that's all that matters. How about the London Jaguars handling the Buffalo Bills? How much does this have to do with, obviously Jaguars have been there for a week, adjusted. For some reason, the Bills did not get there till the night before, which seems like an odd.
Oh, I thought they said they got there Friday.
They were only there like a day, as far as I know.
Because they got grounded and had to stay at a hotel.
Yeah.
Well, I think injuries played a huge part, too, on the defensive side for Buffalo as well. They were down like 5 or 6 guys by the end of the game.
Yeah, I saw something about Norman coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that linebacking core took a hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. This might be the year that Jacksonville finally gets out of that hole, though. That's been plaguing them for so long now.
I mean, they did pretty good last year. They didn't start off good this year, but they've definitely rebounded.
And they didn't have ETN either because he was out when he tore his ACL.
Last year, yeah.
But he's healthy now, so they're going to be a good 1-2 punch for the Jungle Cats down south.
Yeah, and I'm not too worried about Josh Allen and the Bills. I think they'll keep on rolling. You know, it's
They
just
will. They always find a way to bounce back.
yeah. And that brings us to another AFC East team. The Patriots just getting smoked by the Saints. And I think we all picked the Saints, but I don't think any of us thought it was going to be a blowout.
It became a blowout after Belichick kind of lost his mind. And for the second straight game in a row, he pulls Mac Jones. That's where everything went downhill.
I think it went downhill before that.
Not much before, though. It wasn't very far.
I mean, he's been outscored. What was it like? He's been outscored 72-3 the last two games. He's had his two worst games ever, being, losing by 35 and then 34. So I think I don't know. I don't even know what to think.
I think Caleb Williams to the Patriots.
I can't tell if it's an offensive coordinator problem or if it's an Mac Jones problem, because
Mac Jones looked really inconsistent right now.
I know, but Mac Jones looked good the first couple of years he was in the Patriots schemes, but then they've changed offensive coordinators last 3 years. So I can't tell if it's a not consistency of offensive scheme or if it's because you can't even say they don't have the weapons either anymore.
Yeah, I mean, for a while there, he was putting up similar numbers to Purdy. If that, it's just the team. I just think it's a talent thing. I mean, granted, they lost to the Cowboys, who got absolutely walloped this week. How about quarterbacks with question marks? Rookie Anthony Richardson hurt again. I think 4 out of the 5 games he hasn't finished. At this point, it looks like he's probably going on IR. I know they just signed another quarterback for the practice squad, which just means he'll probably be on the active here in a minute. But they actually, Gardner Minshew's playing. They did beat the Titans. I think we all had the Colts as well, but are you guys worried about Anthony Richardson?
Not coming back, you mean, or
just long term?
I'm a bit worried because it could be one of those. I mean, look at Tim Patrick with the Broncos. Tears his ACL, thinks he's healthy, comes back in training camp before the season starts, does it again. And that doing it twice could be career ending. You can't, it's the same kind of thing. He does it more than once and you're,
right.
So
isn't this a different injury?
It's his shoulder.
Yeah, it's his shoulder. He has a sprained AC joint versus last time when he had a concussion. So
and a bruised knee, I think, too.
It can still affect you the same way, though.
I am worried about him just because, last week I said that I think he'd have the best career of these 3 rookies, and he might not make it out of his rookie year.
Right. Yeah, it's getting worrisome there. How about Pittsburgh Steelers not wanting to win? I know their fans do not want them to win. I mean, they do, but they don't because they want Canada gone. And every time they win, it gives them a reason to keep Canada. Here they are winning. They beat Baltimore. They're in first place. I mean, at this point, they're stuck with Canada, and that's just. I mean, that offense is abysmal. Their defense is really good. That's what keeps them in the game. Baltimore still doesn't have enough weapons outside of Flowers, and no
Yeah.
running back right now either.
It's been a weird
half
year
their
for injuries.
receivers dropped passes too.
Yeah. Well, their number one back hurt first game again. I'm actually kind of shocked they didn't try anything with Jonathan Taylor. I guess that's the big news we didn't talk about either. Jonathan Taylor has re-signed with the Colts. I don't think he played last week, but he should be playing this week, right?
He did play last week.
he did
Zach
play.
Moss just
He did play, but he's on one of
overplayed him.
He's on one of my Yahoo teams. He only had 1.90 for playtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't play much, but he did play some snaps. But Zach Moss just outplayed him.
Zach
And it
Moss
was,
is incredible, dude. People underestimate him.
Right.
He can do
Yeah,
good
he
things.
was on my bench.
Hey, that was a good pickup, Brendan. You didn't even know. You were just like,
Thanks,
I want to take a flyer on this guy, and look, it paid off. Here we go. The now winless Panthers looking hot garbage. Absolutely garbage. Just getting steamrolled by the Detroit Lions, Matt.
Because the Lions, for the first time in probably 20, 25 years, are actually good.
I mean, they've been good more recent than that. They're just even better.
That whole division, doesn't matter who. It's close to garbage. It's who wants to perform better. Green Bay gets beat by Vegas. Minnesota lost. Chicago lost.
Chicago won.
Oh, no, they won. Huh? So it really is a week-by-week thing when it comes to it.
Well, no, that division, Detroit's going to win it. I mean, it's easily.
I'm kind of rooting for them to win it just because they haven't won it in God knows how long.
I mean, the
Aaron
Vikings.
Rodgers had Green Bay for so long.
Yeah, well, the Vikings get the Bears this week, so hopefully we can capitalize on it and leapfrog them. But I think it's funny that last week the winless Bears held the first and second round. They win this week, and they still have the first and second. They just switch which pick it was. Carolina now has the number one pick, which they gave to Chicago.
Hey, that means they can get Harrison to pair with DJ Moore, who had a killer game. And look at Justin Fields, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Something's clicking. They just need to keep it going. Scott, are you worried about the Indianapolis Colts quarterback, Anthony Richardson?
Well, you know what? He's a big guy, and that's kind of part of his game. So, figure he's going to get hurt a few times. We'll see how it goes now. He's got going to have a nice 1 month break now. So we'll see how it comes when he comes back in about 4 weeks. We'll see.
Yeah, and luckily they got Minshew. I mean, that's looking like a really good signing because he's played really well when he's had to come in and play. We did also talk about, obviously, the Bears and the Jaguars. Which one of those ones surprised you more, Scott?
Actually, the Bears actually surprised me more. The offense really was great. I was very thankful for DJ Moore being the receiver on a number of those touchdowns. He helped me out in a couple of my leagues. So yeah, actually the change in offense for the Bears surprised me more.
Okay. And then, I mean, we talked about the Colts and the Patriots. Patriots are dead. Do you think they can fix this at all this year? Or is this a complete rebuild next year?
Yeah, no, that's going to have to be a rebuild. I can't see them doing much more this year. Obviously, they can improve along the way, maybe win a few more as the season goes, but to win enough to actually make a difference come playoff time, I'm not seeing it yet this year. So wait till next year. I'm a Cubs fan, so it's always wait till next year.
Yeah.
So am I.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. Now, what about because the Steelers' offense is terrible?
Losing Deontay to the IR really sucked.
Yeah, but he's coming back. But was this a lose situation? Like, obviously they win, but does it really help him in the long run?
If you look at their schedule, in that case, I have to say no. When you think about it, it's
What
not
about you?
going to help them. They might have been able to squeak one out, but I think they just got lucky.
What about you, Scott?
Yeah, but it's kind of like the Bears. They're going to have a crappy season, and probably as the year goes on, they'll get a one or two along the way. But yeah, it's not really going to be much for come the end of the year. Just kind of see where it goes come draft time. Who knows? We'll see how successful they are as far as draft capital than they are for the betterment of the year.
And how about this? When was the last time you saw a team this good in Detroit?
Ooh, yeah, that's been a while. That's been a while. So it's amazing that Goff is now picking things up, and they've got a number of receivers now, and a couple backs that are up and coming. And Laporte is doing awesome at tight end. So they're going to be interesting to see this year. I think they're going to be. If I'm on a pick'em league, I think Detroit's going to get my vote on a number of weeks. So.
Yeah, I agree there. Now that moves us to, let's see, Texans and Falcons. Falcons looking better than they have. I mean, first 300-yard game for Desmond Ritter. Somehow the Texans lose that. I mean, they've been on a roll. I think we all picked them last week. And the Falcons come in, they win. And today they trade for Van Jefferson from the Rams. So they're adding more weapon. Scott, we'll start with you because you are owner of Van Jefferson on your fantasy league. So how do you feel about the Falcons and the trade?
Well, you know what? I think that's going to end up being a good trade, at least for me and for Jefferson, in that there's actually openings for Jefferson to catch the ball with Puka and Cup and Atwell. There wasn't a whole lot of there in Los Angeles. So now you can go to Atlanta. You can have more opportunities. Now, how well Ritter can get him the ball? Well, that's what we'll have to see. So I think as far as Jefferson's concerned, and really as far as my team or Jefferson on my team is concerned, that's a lot better than what it was.
And then Ty, flip side, as a Texan correspondent for us, how do you feel with the loss?
They fought till the end. It was a last-second field goal. But I think in the long run, now that they've made the trades for the wides, have decent running backs, if Stroud stays healthy, I think in the long run, as long as everybody stays healthy, they might have a chance to win that AFC South. But I was kind of shocked because I was watching the game. That last-second field goal, Houston would have won the game. But Stroud didn't perform bad at all. I think in the long run, as long as he sticks around.
He still hasn't thrown an interception.
I know. That's
Better
why I'm
knock
saying
on wood, Brendan. Go find some wood and knock on it.
As long as he's healthy, it'll be just fine.
And then let's see, Dolphins just hammering the defenseless Giants. I mean, that was a kind of sad game to watch. It was almost as sad as the Broncos Dolphins game. I think
They
what's
lost Jones
worse
to
is,
injury, didn't they?
yeah, I think what's worse is Jones out with a neck injury. I've not heard. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard any update with Jones.
Only that he's going to be out 2 to 6 weeks,
Ooh.
pending. It may not be the full 6.
1-0 Pittsburgh. What is that?
But he's not going to. He won't play on Sunday.
To those stupid Penguins.
You're just now seeing the score they're kicking. That goal happened like 2 minutes into the first period.
No, it's the end of the first. That's what I'm watching right now.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that happened in the very beginning of the game. You just now
Yeah,
saw.
no, it's
I've got it
live.
on here.
It's live right next to me. Don't worry, it's
Oh,
right there.
I've got it going here.
I got hockey on in front of me. Off to the side of my phone, I got baseball going. I got it all, man. Sports are everywhere.
It's sports year right now, and we love
I
it.
was gonna say I have hockey going in front of me right now too.
It's got to be a jumbled mind for you, Matt, being that it's Houston and Minnesota.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. I mean, I always, like I said, being a fan of Minnesota, you're used to the kind of same thing. Well, next year, I guess, but Houston's had their turn. Let's get some good coming out of Minnesota. Hopefully, fingers crossed that they can rally tomorrow and tie it back up at 2.
It's the best of 5, so.
Yeah,
How about the Rangers scoring more points than the Cowboys?
that was funny.
I thought I was going to die laughing. It's funny.
They're on pace to
What
do
I
it
said
again.
earlier.
They are on pace to do it again tonight. They already have 6 up, and they're only in the 4th inning right now, so they could do it again.
That just
Crazy.
reminds me of the stat line where it said the Denver Nuggets gave less to a Miami team than the Denver Broncos did. Because I think it was 60 something in the champion, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Here we go. Arizona got smacked in the mouth this week. I mean, Cincinnati came out. Jamar Chase always open. Burrow on fire. I mean, I was happy as a having Chase on my team.
What do
Had
you
the best wide receiver game for me since Tyreek Hill against the Broncos. Matt, you got to feel pretty good though.
Dude, but how do you feel about Jamar Chase wanting to trade it?
That wasn't a true story.
I don't know. It just popped up to ESPN.
Nah.
Who
Well,
knows?
everything can happen. No, that was from some
Hope he
not so good sources and just got circulated really quickly.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of prima donna football players now. The fact that Diggs is crying again up in Buffalo, it's like he is like the biggest diva. I tell you what, man. He was
Aren't
in
you happy
Minnesota,
Minnesota got
and he was again in Buffalo. Like trade him to out Vegas. Just send him somewhere. Get him out of Buffalo.
It's because he's not the GOAT.
Yeah,
The modern GOAT, Tyreek Hill. Best wide receiver in the league. Jamar Chase might be too, though. He's coming up.
Justin Jefferson is 2.
Yeah, Jefferson is, like I said, yeah, he's outstanding.
Jefferson's good, but I put him at 3. I'm totally biased, though, as well. On this.
I mean, I am too. He's my receiver on fantasy.
Whoa. That was just a big blow for Minnesota, though, to have him land on IR.
Yeah,
You know who's really the best is AJ Brown.
AJ Brown's really good too. Him and Metcalf can be top receivers in the league. They're just not consistent.
Well, that's because you also have Devontae Smith and Tyler Lockett as their number 2s, and those are good number 2s.
Right? But watching their games, man, those 2 wide receivers, again, I'm biased because they're both on my team. But they just run over the defensive backs. Like even as a person that played defense in football, I sort of feel bad for the defense.
Dude, your best wide receiver.
I love it.
Is Jerry Jeudy. That guy, I tell you what, where would the Broncos be without Jerry Jeudy?
Jerry Jeudy is garbage. Oh, here, I'll take that back. Jerry Judy is good. He has a garbage quarterback. Does that sound better, Matt?
There you go, man. You got that one almost spot on the nose. Again, you're paying a quarterback $58 million, and what does he do? He holds the ball out so it can get knocked out of his hand. Throw the ball away or tuck it, dude. You get paid $54 million.
Yep.
Well, and for a while there, I was watching. I'm like, did he try to just throw it out of bounds? Because he had that play earlier. I guess we'll just talk about Denver because that's what we like to do. For the safety, he clearly, and then he was all crying. The ref, he's like, "No, I was throwing it." I was like, "Who? Who? The referee threw it at the ref. This isn't longest yard." But they Jets just whooped them. I mean, not very good whoop them. The offense for the Jets did not play very well. They did outplay Denver, but a good team probably could have doubled that score easy because the Jets just couldn't get in the end zone.
And seeing the Broncos do what the Avs have done before too, and what was always a big hindrance of the Avs is they play to the level of their opponents. It's like you got a team coming in, you should manhandle, and you take a step back. Like why?
Right? No, I remember
And
that.
with Washington as well. Washington, the Broncos should have manhandled the Commanders, and they took a step back.
No, and I remember that because when we'd go, there's me and Mark and Blackhawks and you, Matt, and some others and Avs. But when we went those years, it was Avs super fast, very fast team, and they'd play up because the Blackhawks were really good at the time. But then they just go lose to a really terrible team, and it was so confusing to watch because they played so good against like the Blackhawks.
Yeah, no, they would absolutely play to the level of those top teams, and they'd be like, shoot, man, this is the team right here. We're going all the way. And then you play a team that, I don't know how many times the Avs were the home favorite, and Ty knows is suffering. They're the favorite team to win, and then they would lose Minnesota twice in, a few year span where the Avs should have played them in the first round and they get exited. It's frustrating for Denver sports,
Hey, but Denver sports outside of football looks much brighter right now. I mean, 2022, the Avs win. 2023, the Nuggets win. Deion Sanders is here. The
We're
Rams
just forgetting
and the
the
Air
Rockies
Force.
exist.
And to think,
we said
Deion Sanders recruited Warren Sapp, which is massive.
Yeah, Warren Sapp with the Buffs. Air Force looks pretty good so far.
Brendan, we
The
said
Rams-
professional teams. The Rockies are not professional.
Yeah, I don't,
Like I said, we're just forgetting they exist, right?
Yeah,
Heck,
exactly.
until the Monfords can have their names engraved in a casket, this team ain't winning a title.
hey, and me and Matt, we're live right now. Let's say it. Let us take over the Rockies. I'm always a Cubs fan, but we know
Oh,
a
my.
player. We know a player down in Texas. His name is Mark Trailer. Bring
I know
him
who
up.
you're talking about.
That guy, he will win you games by himself. I mean, you saw it. We were at Wyoming holding up Mark Trailer signs, weren't we?
Yeah, had his
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Like, let's go, Mark.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
I saw it.
Mark Trailer, we've seen him once for the Alpine Cowboys, and he was just a beast. Who was that on Garden City win? Matt, do a fact check for me real quick on the win. The one you called Goldilocks. Bring him in too. Bring those two in. Bring some of the Roswell Invaders. Man, that team would win double the games that the Rockies are doing. I was trying to find that picture so I could show Scott. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Mark Trailer.
He became our favorite baseball player when we saw a hockey fight during a baseball game.
Yeah.
Well, those are awesome. Those are great.
Yeah, we were like, Mark Trailer, you are number one. All right. Well, he's fact checking. We'll ask Brendan this one. Eagles had the best game so far this year. I mean, not once did you think the Eagles were going to lose that game. They maybe didn't score as much, But this was a definitive one, I think.
I think the second half was a definitive game. That first half, they let them just go down and score twice back to back. That kind of scared me. But, I mean, the defense pulled it together and they were able to get sacks and stops when it mattered. And like I said, I think they pulled it together in the second half. But, yeah.
And
It's funny that 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking about AJ Brown or Devontae Smith about like fantasy wise on who to start and how it's always a toss up. And I said he's not the type of quarterback to throw for 300 yards, and he leads the league in the last 2 weeks for passing yards of 600 yards. So obviously I misjudged him.
right. Yeah, no, that's the one bad thing in fantasy if you have two receivers from the same team, because one's going to go off and one's not, and you never know which one, especially with Philadelphia, because it's not like they target one or the other. It's whoever's open that game. It could be the running back, it could be Goddard.
Right. Yeah, Goddard had the best game this past week he's had all season. 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, no, he looked pretty good. So let's see. Packers, Raiders. Raiders win it, but perhaps the most exciting thing that night for the Raiders fans was seeing the Golden Knights with the Stanley Cup. I mean, that was an ugly football game.
It really was.
I mean, oh man, the Packers don't have receivers, which we know.
Well, I
Jordan,
think 2 or 3 are on injured.
Yeah, Aaron Jones not playing. It did not look good, and the Raiders didn't look good, but they won. I mean, a win's a win, but man, that was ugly.
Well, just like the 49ers, Dylan's like the only starting running back in Green Bay. McCaffrey's having to do close to the same aside from Kyle Juszczyk in San Francisco.
Who is the backup?
Huh?
What?
Who is the 49ers backup?
Kyle Juszczyk.
Okay.
Well, I think it's Mason as their actual backup. Juszczyk is their fullback, but they do use him more.
Mason just got hurt briefly, so he had to leave the game. So it was between McCaffrey and Juszczyk that game.
Matt, I think it's Brian Hawkins, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds right. I'm just trying to go through some of the pictures. They didn't do a good job at taking pictures with the names on the Cowboys website.
Well, because he's on the Garden City Wind. You're on the wrong team.
Oh. Brain fart, man. Sorry, it's been a long day. Been up since 4.
Okay, so there you go. We're just telling you guys, Rockies, we got 3 players right there. Got Hawkins. We got our guy down, Ian from Roswell. Bring him up. Bring Mark. You guys would be much better. Whew. So let's see where we are. College this week, pretty big. Louisville beating Notre Dame. Now we're at 14. Pretty excited about that. The Buffs got to win. They're still not ranked. I mean, I don't think they're going to get back into the rankings this year. And Wyoming got a huge win over Fresno State, who was ranked, and Fresno State's still ranked. Wyoming is not. I don't get that ranking. Scott, how do you feel about IU going this week?
Oh, this week we are at the big house. We are at Michigan. So let's see if we can stay tied or at least not be 2 touchdowns down after 5 minutes, then that's a positive. But what was it? Let's see. Miami scored 70. Well, that's the question. Will Michigan be up over or under 70 for that against IU? So I don't know where my money's on that one. It might have to be over.
Brendan, what about you with Texas? I mean, they didn't show up last week.
Their defense, that was rough to watch. Oh my god. I
Classic
think good
game,
thing
though.
they have a bye
Classic
week so they
football
can.
game.
Good thing they can pull themselves back together because that was a really tough loss. Yeah, that's all I got to say. It's a good thing this is a bye week so they can pull themselves back together.
Right. Yeah, and Louisville got a big one. Big one against Notre Dame, and then
Dude, game dropped
this
the
week,
21st.
yeah, this week
That's
they
massive.
played Pittsburgh, so I think we're okay. One I know me and Matt are interested in. Wyoming is coming here to face off against Air Force. Should actually be a pretty good game, I think. Matt, how do you feel about that one?
Oh, it's going to be a good one. I just checked, the rankings here, and you're right. It looks like Wyoming fell 30, 32 votes short of being in the top 25, while falling 33 votes short Air Force. So Air Force and Wyoming are both right there in 27 and 28 if you were to rank them with numbers right now. So yeah, no, I think it's going to be a great matchup. Air Force is claiming, "Hey, welcome to the thin air," but like I said, I think Air Force forgets Wyoming is probably, I think, 400 feet higher. They sit at 7,220 feet where they play. So I don't think Wyoming's going to have any problem coming to the lower altitude of Colorado Springs.
Right, and if they play like they have the last 3 weeks, I think they'll be fine. I mean, I know Air Force played really good, but Wyoming's doing good. I hope they can get at least a rank and kind of get in the bowl season. Let's see if they can get another one. Let's see. And Friday we have a big one here in Colorado. Stanford coming to Colorado to take on the Buffs. Ty, any thoughts on that one?
Game strategy. Dion's got to get with both Shiloh and Shador. Get the whole team in a pod here because we can't be making mistakes like we did last week. It's not going to be that easy. I think just because Prime's there, it's going to be cut and dry.
Yeah, that was definitely a closer game. Matt, any thoughts there?
I think it's going to be a good battle. I mean, I think Hunter is getting ready to come back here soon. He's
practicing. He'll be back this week.
Yeah, well, like I say, he's probably been practicing the whole time. If it were up to Hunter, he would have played no matter what. But you got to be smart. And Coach Sanders was like, "Yeah, kid, you ain't playing, buddy. You got a future ahead of you." So, props to Prime for keeping an eye out on it. But I think Hunter, comes back, and at what degree, we'll see. But I think the Buffs can beat Stanford here.
Yeah, and then we got Boise State going against CSU, and we got Missouri going against Kentucky. So we'll see where they end up. Fantasy, like I said, pretty interesting because we got a lot of 4-1 teams this week. We do see at least two of you guys facing off against each other. Matt, you're going against Scott. First, we'll go with Scott. How do you feel going into this matchup?
Well, I don't know. The Cats have been pretty tough so far. That's why they're 4-1. I'm gonna do all right. It'd be great if Barkley could kind of come off the injured list, but at least come off the bench and actually play sometime. But otherwise, I'll hold my own. We'll see how it goes.
And Matt?
It was a great matchup last time with the Desert Dogs there. We battled all the way to the very end, and I think it was the last two wide receivers both played Monday night, and they were neck and neck too. So it was a good ending to the week for at least us. But it's kind of ironic. No matter how this week goes, I checked the schedule. Scott and I are facing off against each other again next week as well. So we have 3 matchups out of 4 weeks. So the Desert Dogs and the Thundercats are going to be very familiar with each other after next week. Then.
I did see that one.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if Scott knew that either. But yeah, I checked ahead. We're going head to head 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
It's a best of 3 thing.
That's kind of like Cryptid Critters and Brian face each other 4 times in like 8 weeks. And I was just like, I don't know how this schedule was generated, but they did not do a good job.
Yeah, it was definitely different from the past few years.
Right. It wasn't the best. Ty, you're playing Dark Horse. Now, Dark Horse talked some smack. Said they were going to go undefeated. You came in, you beat them. Are you going to beat them again?
I am an underdog by about 10 points, but again, you never know.
Ty, do you need help? I'll send a receiver or something.
Oh no, I have receivers, and now that I got the running backs back.
Brendan, I'm in desperate need of a receiver, possibly out of Las Vegas.
Okay, send me a running back or 2 because I really need a freaking running back.
Let's see. Brendan, you are going against a surprise team. Kind of surprising that they're only 1 win, Blueberry Bulldogs.
They've scored 2 really high games, and so I mean,
only 1 win, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Of course, their top running back is hurt for a couple of weeks. So you kind of look out there. You have some running back issues. They have some running back issues. So
I actually might get a running back this week. And he might be filling in for that injured running back of his. So Jeff Wilson might be coming back from IR, and he'll be the number 2 back in Miami. If he comes back this week, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from my team anymore. It looks like DeAndre finally, started clicking with Ryan Tannehill, so hopefully he can pick up that consistency. And it looks like Calvin Ridley's also picked up consistency and stopped dropping the ball like he did 2 weeks in a row. So that might help. But yeah, I worry about my running backs. I thought I was okay with the 4 I had, and 2 have fallen off the cliff because of the teams they're on, and 1's now hurt. So, and 1's a backup, but outperforming the starters. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, and then let's see. We got Bobby taking on Mark. Should be a pretty good matchup there.
I got whipped this week because Williams didn't play. That's what hurt me.
He's questionable this coming week because he didn't practice today.
Yeah, you got to go. You might have to make a trade for a running back, Bobby.
Yeah, who do I get? I wonder.
I don't know. You got to see who you have and who you can trade that's equal points. That's how I always try to make trades, is try to make it even. Let's see. I take on Blazing Red. Should be good there. Let's see. Birmingham Bats takes on Cryptid Critters.
Jeez.
I noticed Bats is not on again. Ever since he smack talked Matt, he has not joined us. But his entire team's been hurt, so that should be interesting. And then we got South Park Cows, another surprise 4-1 team, going against the Bears, who are 0-5, kind of a surprise 0-5 since they did make the playoffs last year. So we shall see. But that brings us to everyone's favorite part of the show, where we give you guys our picks. We'll start with you, Bobby. Thursday night in Arrowhead in Kansas City, a stadium Brendan and I may or may not have entered while it was closed. Allegedly, Brendan.
All right.
Broncos, Chiefs, Bobby.
Broncos. I still got to go with my team, win or lose. I got to stand by them.
All right, Matt.
Give me Kansas City in this one. I don't even think it's going to be a matchup here.
Also depends on Kelsey and his health.
Yeah, Kelsey keeps getting hurt. That's not good. Not
Well, they're
good.
playing on grass.
Gronk did too, remember?
Yeah.
With the pack. Same thing.
Ty, what about you?
I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm going KC here.
Scott?
Yep, got to go with KC. Got to go with the Swifties.
Brendan?
Kansas City.
Scott earned some brownie points tonight from some of our viewers, I'm sure. Someone just became a fan of the Desert Dogs, I know. I'm definitely going Kansas City. Kansas City fans were very nice to us. You know, you hear a lot of negative about them living in Colorado, but they were very nice.
The few that I've met are great people, man. They have awesome tailgates, very welcoming, good people, Kansas City fans.
And you know who they don't have? Russell Wilson. So give me Patrick Mahomes.
You guys have met, because the ones I've met are not as friendly. And I live in Kansas.
You live in Kansas. I met the ones in Missouri, the real Kansas City fans. Remember, you were there, walking around that little square. I forget where we were, but that was fun. Ooh, this is an interesting one. It's another London game. Baltimore, Tennessee. Bobby.
Let's see. I got to go with Baltimore.
All right, Pat.
This is going to be, I think, a better game than most people are anticipating. Both teams showed a little bit of poise this last week. It's going to come down to the end, I think, and I think Baltimore pulls out a squeaker in this one.
Ty.
Yeah, like Matt said, they both pulled out lucky squeaks, and they kind of just had Lamar's number last game. I mean, he got killed on the sack ratio, but I think they squeak one out. Baltimore.
Scott.
Actually, I think I'm going to lean a little bit toward Tennessee. One of these days, and I think it kind of started this past week, where Henry is just going to start getting out and actually running like he's supposed to. I think that could be a big change. So I'm going to lean toward Tennessee this time.
Hey, I know that's music to Matt's ears. He is all for Derrick Henry running. Brendan, what about you?
I was about to say the same thing. You're going for a Henry, and you're playing against him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Baltimore's the better team, but they just have so many injuries. I think it could go either way. I'm going to say Tennessee. I've always liked them a little more than the Ravens or a few other teams.
I know you had a blanket.
I was going to say one of my first favorite teams as a kid growing up, and I have their receivers. So, but I also think it depends on who gets there first. You know, they were talking. You know, the Buffalo Bills seemed sleepy-ish and like they were sleepwalking in that game because nothing started clicking until the fourth quarter. So I think it depends on who gets there first, but I'm going to say Tennessee.
Yeah, I think that's a very.
I was really trying to help Matthew when I said that I would take over for Henry when he put on the thing that put on the chat that he wanted to get rid of Henry, and I said, "Hey, I'll go ahead and I'll take him," and I offered him Madison too, just so he wouldn't be out of backs. But he didn't take it. He didn't take it.
Oh, keeping the rivalry up. I love it. I think you guys know where I go with this one. I got to go with Lamar. Run with the Cardinals players, especially, I don't know, their wide receivers is the question, though. Can they catch the ball? I don't know, but I'm going Baltimore, which brings us to a interesting one. 0-5 Carolina going against Miami. Now, I want you guys to answer who you think will win, and does Miami score 70 points for a second time, Bobby?
Ugh. I got to go with Miami. They've been scoring a lot of points lately, so
Matt.
Yeah, to think their coach used to be the Denver Broncos ball boy.
Matt.
Oh, Miami's winning the game, but they're not scoring 70. No one plays Pee-wee defense the way Denver did. So, no, they're not going to score 70.
Ty.
Nah, man, I got to go Fins. I think Mike McDaniel has a lot of firepower behind him, especially with your fan fave, Cheetah.
Go Tyree.
He gets going. You can't stop him. And as long as Tagovailoa is healthy, there is no stopping that. Especially now that they have Bradley Chubb on defense. He's been a big help.
Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miami this one. I'm not so sure about them going 70, but I got to go with Miami.
Brendan.
I'll say Miami. I don't think they'll score 70, but
Nah, I don't think they'll put 70 up either.
Yeah, I'm going Miami. I think they get at least 50. I think it's a pretty good walloping. And I think Tyreek gets 300 yards receiving.
at least it's not against me.
I think he's going to go wild because he is the GOAT today in wide receiver. It's not old time. Jerry Rice is the GOAT old time. And the GOAT football player old time, Walter Payton. But today, modern wide receiver, Tyreek Hill.
41-17, not quite 50.
41-17? Okay. Ooh, this one should be a good one. New Orleans and Houston, Bob.
Yeah, both teams look good.
I gotta go New Orleans.
Carr didn't have much for passing.
New Orleans or Houston? Another interesting matchup there, man. That's going to be another. Either team could win this game, but I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. They've been playing a little bit better football right now.
Ty.
Shoot, man. Kind of a toss-up, but I don't know. It really depends on Stroud because almost everybody else is healthy. So I'm just gonna throw it out and try Houston. Let's see.
Scott.
Yeah, I'm kind of back and forth on this one. I'll lean toward New Orleans, but would not necessarily be upset that Houston pulls it off. They are been playing better. I think as this season's going on, probably Houston will be one of my picks more often. But at least on this week, I'm going to go with New Orleans.
Brendan.
I think Houston. I think Stroud has a bounce back game, and they don't let that. They don't let New Orleans come into Houston and interrupt it. I think Stroud can lead them. It depends. I think they have a couple injuries, so we'll see if their receiver and tight end can come back. But I think they should win it.
And I'm gonna go
Tony
New
Baker's
Orleans.
on his game. When he has a good game, they tend to win. Tyrann Mathieu is something else.
Yeah, I'm going New Orleans for this one. I just think their defense is better. So I think that's going to be the matchup there. Then we got a fun one. Commanders, Falcons. Bobby.
I'm going Atlanta.
That's one you could fry your brains on because both teams are terrible.
But I don't know about that. I think Atlanta might surprise some people. Matt,
Now that they've, you know,
You're
a lot of
not the
people
only
have
one
been
to
hurt.
say that.
what?
You're not the only one to say that. Colin Coward had a whole show about a week and a half ago about how he was jumping on the Atlanta bandwagon because he thought they were going to do something and win the South. So you're not the only one.
I don't know if they'll win the South, but I definitely think they're a lot better than people give them credit for. Ritter is still pretty early in his career, and as you saw last week, he had a really good game. They got a new wide receiver. I think they'll do good. But Matt, do you think they will do good?
I'm going to go with the team. I don't think they've been referred to this in like 20 years plus. But give me the Dirty Birds. You know, the Atlanta Falcons are going to like turn into that Dirty Bird team, man. They're winning this game.
Ty?
Yeah, looking at it, I'm gonna have to go Falcons.
Scott?
Yeah, I got to go Atlanta too. So they pull this one out.
Brendan?
You know, Desmond Ritter's never lost a home game. I'm going to go Atlanta.
That is a true fact, dude. He hasn't.
Yeah, and I'm going Atlanta as well. Which brings us to a Jacksonville home game, actually in home this time, against Indianapolis. Bob?
Oh God. I'm going Colts.
Matt?
With Richardson out, I just don't see the Colts being able to take care of business. Jacksonville wins it. They're going to keep this momentum going. I mean, like we talked about a little bit early, has Jacksonville finally turned that corner where they're going to become a consistent playoff team? And I think they're going to show that they are. And Lawrence just has it going right now. Jacksonville wins this game.
Ty?
Yeah, this is probably the best team I've seen since they had Maurice Jones-Drew back in 09. So as long as ETN and Lawrence can stay in connection, we're going Jacksonville over Indy.
Scott?
For whatever reason, Jacksonville has always been the Colts' kryptonite. They, no matter how bad Jacksonville has been, and no matter how good the Colts have been, the Colts go into Jacksonville and just poop the can. And so I got to go with Jacksonville just for that reason. I'm going with Jacksonville. Doesn't matter, it wouldn't have mattered if Richardson was in the game or not. I would still have gone to Jacksonville in this time. So.
And Brendan, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I was watching the Blackhawks game real quick.
So was I.
That was a
We
sweet
gotta
goal.
go.
Hey, better got his first point, so got to be happy about that one.
There we go.
I am. He's on my fantasy team, so I'm good.
I don't know who to choose on this one. I think I'm going to take Jacksonville just because they're the home team, but I could see it going either way.
See, my brain tells me to take Jacksonville.
Dude, it's
But
a 50-50 split. You can't pick.
My heart tells me it is a Gardner Minshew revenge game. He's going to go back to Jacksonville and beat them with the Indianapolis Colts. I'll take the Colts. Ooh, this is my toughest matchup this week. Seattle, Cincinnati. Bob.
Oh, God, dude.
I got to go Seattle.
Matt.
This is going to be a close one. I'm going to get out my POG that I've had since the 1990s. This one, Seattle wins white. They're going to lose. Let's see. Oh, give me Seattle.
We had to flip a coin. Ty, flip a pog. Just don't tell the bats you have some pogs.
I don't know. Burrow and Chase have kind of been a little inconsistent as of late. I'm gonna have to go with the Seahawks, dude.
Ooh, I mean, this one is tough for me. Obviously, I want to go Seattle. Same time, Jamar Chase looked so good last week.
Yeah,
So
he's
I'm
on.
gonna have to stick with Seattle. Wouldn't surprise me though. This one definitely could go 50-50, but I'll pick Seattle. Ooh,
This is a
here
50-50 pick. I don't think there's a wrong pick here.
Right. Here we go, Matt. I mean, there's always a wrong pick. Someone's going to lose. So that's the wrong pick. We just don't know. Here we go, Matt. Big game in Chicago. The Vikings going to Soldier Field. Bob.
I'm gonna go with Matt's team. I'm gonna go Minnesota over Chicago.
All right. Matt.
Like I said it last week, I had to eat my words. Chicago showed up. They're still playing inconsistent right now. I've not seen. I mean, Justin Fields is the only exception. He's had some tremendous games back to back, but Minnesota's going to, get back on track. We've got to. Otherwise, I think it's going to be kind of this is the one where we shoot ourselves in the foot if we don't win.
Ty.
Yeah. I know Fields showed up past week, but
Past 2 weeks.
and then
8 touchdowns, 1
Justin
interception.
Jefferson gets placed on the IR, but they still have offensive firepower. So I'm gonna have to stick with the Vikes over the Bears, dude.
Scott.
Well, you know what? Herbert's is hurt. I don't think he's going to be playing. Just for that reason, I think I'm going to lean toward Minnesota.
Brendan.
I'm going to say Chicago. They are
3-3 split.
I think they're currently they've been putting up points. They've been playing the most consistent just because their defense, I don't know how they blew that, but I don't think, I just think Chicago.
Chicago was picked as the dark horse of the NFL this year after this performance.
Yeah, I know me and Matt got our big presentation this Saturday, which if you guys are in, Castro, Colorado, come join us. But maybe you'll just see me in a Justin Fields jersey and Matt in a Minnesota Vikings jersey. But give me Chicago.
Well, so it looks like we got a 3-3 split, huh?
We do. But that brings us to one I don't think is going to be a 3-3 split. San Francisco going against the P.J. Walker-led Cleveland Browns, because I'm pretty sure I just saw P.J. Walker is going to probably get the start this Sunday. So, Bobby, Browns, 49ers.
San Francisco.
Matt?
Dude, how can I go against Cleveland, man? They're just such an amazing team. The Browns got a lot of tradition going there.
Yes, they do. They got Otto Graham, but this is not Otto Graham's team, no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Let's go ahead and go with the San Francisco 49ers.
Ty.
San Francisco. Kittle. I'll put it on Kittle and McCaffrey with 2 touchdowns each.
Scott, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with San Francisco. I think this past week they kind of wanted to share the the good plays with other players other than McCaffrey and Debo. So now that everybody seems to be happy, I'm still going to go with San Francisco.
Keegan, you didn't tell me the scores.
Brendan.
San Francisco.
All right, so I had to bring out my lucky autographed book, but I can't pick them because they don't have autogram leading the team this week. So I'm going San Francisco. So yeah, I had to throw you guys off somehow. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. I don't. This could be a 50-50 one. New England, Las Vegas. Bob. Bobby.
Who is it?
Las Vegas, New England.
Oh God, I don't like the Raiders. New England.
Yes.
Autogram.
Nice.
Matt.
This one is going to end in a tie.
I love it.
It's going to be like 3-3. Each quarterback has 5 interceptions. Honestly, I think Raiders got something maybe cooking. I don't know. Can't pick against Devontae Adams right now. He's starting to looks like he's feeling it. He wants out, so he might start playing to perform to get a good trade. Raiders, I think, are going to win the game.
Well, and both these teams know each other. I just have to keep mentioning autogram anytime we're talking New England because I know New England fans get so mad at me. It was like Tom Brady. Ty.
Well, considering Belichick has pulled cigar smoking Mac Jones the last 2 games, and as hot as Devontae looked with Garoppolo, even though Garoppolo sucks major ass, so to speak, going Vegas.
Scott.
Man, New England has just been playing so bad. I got to lean toward.
I think you mean atrociously.
Well, that too. I was trying to be nice, but I got to go with Vegas.
Brendan.
I'm going to say Vegas. New England's a dumpster fire right now. They need a hard reset. I don't know.
So while I do think New England needs a hard reset, Belichick has really good success against his proteges. So I'm going to take a flyer on New England. I don't know how good I feel about that, but ooh, here's an interesting one. Detroit, Tampa Bay. Bobby.
Detroit.
Matt.
Just real quick, throwing it out. I don't know if anyone else saw this though, but Connor Bernard just left his hockey stick outside the locker room as everyone else brought theirs in. Is that a superstition, or do you think his stick's already going to the Hockey Hall of Fame because he got his first assist? But he was the only guy to leave his stick outside against the wall. So I'm sorry, I just found that interesting watching the game here. As they went.
I'm watching it too. That's funny.
Right. Yeah. 2-1.
Yeah. I think in this one, Detroit wins, man. Like I said it last week. This team is found a hot streak. They're rolling, like rolling. You can't pick against them right now until they lose. So, give me the Detroit Lions winning the game.
Ty.
Sam Laporta has been a hot rookie. Touchdowns and 68 yards rushing last game. I don't think Detroit loses this one, but
Scott.
Yeah, well, I kind of said it earlier. They've been running, so got to go with the Lions. It hurts me as a Bear fan, but growing up a Bear fan, it hurts me to do that. But I do have to go with the Lions this time.
Brendan.
I think the Lions.
Yeah, I'm going Detroit on this one as well. I do think Tampa Bay is pretty good, but I just don't think they're good enough to be Detroit's level. That brings us to a game that you guys should know. I pick the same team every week, but it's the Arizona Cardinals going against the LA Rams. Bobby,
Rams.
Matt. You're on mute. You're on mute.
There we go. This one probably doesn't have the same vibe as it did a couple weeks ago. Maybe it looked a lot better on paper then. I think Arizona pulls it off. Cardinals win.
Ty.
No, man, I gotta. Arizona's been so inconsistent, offense or defense. I gotta go with the Rams, dude.
Scott.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. I'm thinking the same way. And now that Connor is out of the backfield,
Yeah, losing James Conner hurt.
yeah, and they got
Yeah, it
the,
did.
got the rookie, and I can't remember his name, but I know it starts with a D. D Benarco or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got to go with the Rams this time.
Now that
Brendan.
Cooper Cup's healthy, that's a big thing,
That too.
especially with this matchup coming up.
Brendan.
I'm gonna say the Rams.
And I gotta keep the bid alive. The bid's gotta stay alive. I gotta pick Arizona. I swear, I'm just gonna lose every week, picking by one game. It's always gonna be Arizona. One. Here we go. Eagles trying to go undefeated another week. Going to the Aaron Rodgers Jets. Bobby.
After what they did, I think the Jets.
Matt.
The Jets are a hard team to pick against, man. They're playing some good football, but they're just not good enough. If they had a quarterback like Jalen Hurts or something, maybe. But again, time management you saw was getting away from the Jets. Zach Wilson's just not that guy. The Eagles are going to win and just beat the Jets, manhandle them.
Ty.
I'm with Matt on that one. The Jets have been real consistent. Jalen Hurts has been on the up and up. And, things have gone downhill otherwise. But, we're going Eagles.
Scott.
Yeah, Eagles easily. Yeah, I can't see the Jets putting up much against them. Eagles by a ton.
And our non-biased Eagle fan, Brendan. Well, was that an Eagles?
Sauce Gardner would have to Sauce Gardner would have to be on top, more than on top of his game.
Who is he covering?
Oh, they were showing
AJ
the
Brown or Devontae Smith? Because the other person's gonna go off.
Yeah, for me, if the Jets were playing a team, i.e., the Denver Broncos, definitely pick the Jets. But I gotta pick Philadelphia, man. There's just no way I can pick the Jets against a team like Philadelphia.
No, honestly, I think if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of the Jets, it'd be a different story. It'd be a harder pick to go against the Jets.
Completely agree. Yep.
But since it's Zach Wilson, it's an easy Eagles.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers much, much better than Zach Wilson. I had a lot of faith in Zach Wilson, and I've slowly lost it. And maybe not even slowly, very quickly last year. Let's see.
Some good news is the Rangers were successful on the extra point. They now have 7 compared to Baltimore's 1. We're only a field goal away from tying the Cowboys.
And there's our comparing football to another sport comp.
Football and baseball.
Let's see. Here we go. Possibly a make it right game for Buffalo as they host the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. Didn't get flexed out. Kind of surprising considering injuries and such, but we're going to see Buffalo Giants. Bobby, what do you think?
Buffalo.
Matt?
It doesn't really get much worse than the Giants, but we still have the Broncos. Give me Buffalo beating Giants right now.
I was going to say you're ranking the Giants lower than Denver. Ty?
Losing Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley's questionable coming up. He didn't practice today, so no. You got to go Buffalo on that one.
Yeah.
Especially with Josh Allen so pissed off in the locker room with that loss.
Scott?
Yeah, I think right now the Giants are, along with those other teams that have just kind of, it's the race for the draft pick for the Giants. So got to go with Buffalo.
Brendan?
So, with Tyrod Taylor being the starting quarterback of the Giants and him being more of an active runner than Daniel Jones, do the Giants still give up 10 plus sacks? I think that's the more important question.
Maybe they give up 9 sacks.
Offensive line sucks for the New York Giants. Even though Taylor is a more of an active quarterback and can make plays happen, I don't think. Hey, at least Waller finally, decided to join the team. That was nice.
I was happy about that. Might still trade him, but I was sure happy last week.
But yeah, no, I think Buffalo. I think the Giants are also another dumpster fire that they have a lot of issues.
Another thing for Buffalo, it's not only that they can force fumbles, but it's been a lot of air coverage with picks by strong safeties and corners.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo as well. Going the Wyoming quarterback, Josh Allen. I mean, the Giants are a dumpster fire, like Brendan said. You minus your starting quarterback, your offensive line's hurt and terrible, even if they weren't hurt. So, going Buffalo brings us to the big Monday night football game. And is it big? I don't know, but it is. Dallas going to LA and the Chargers. Bob.
What happened? I think the Chargers are going to beat Dallas.
Matt.
I think it was nice that the Avs lent the Stanley Cup to Vegas this last year, as we're going to bring it back home. So that was kind of nice of you to share that little moment right there, Keegan. Happy about it. But we're bringing it back, baby.
Yep.
You want to say Dallas, but then they're so inconsistent. They look really good against certain teams, and then I think 2 out of the last 3 weeks have been blown out now. Where it's like, what team shows up? Herbert is looking really good right now, and I think he's going to keep it going. Give me the Chargers in this game.
Ty?
Who was it?
Chargers and Dallas.
Crap, man. Dak's been really inconsistent. He just didn't look right the other night. Stuff was off. Same with Gallup and the guys. I think Herbert and the guys are gonna spank them, get a 10-point difference.
Scott.
Yeah, I got to go with Chargers on this one. That's easy.
Brendan. I mean, I know you really want to pick Dallas.
Oh,
I know. You just texted me. Tell him I will pick Dallas Cowboys. No, I know you won't pick Dallas.
never.
Even against like Denver or the Giants, would you pick Dallas?
No.
Oh, yes.
You know I'm a true Eagles fan then, right?
Yeah, no, this one's tough because I really don't trust Staley as a coach.
But you trust Mike McCarthy?
More than Staley, yes. If you
You
had to
trust
give
Dak Herbert?
no, see that's the issue. That's the issue. There's like question marks. It's a coin toss. I don't have any coins. Matt, where's your coin? Where's the coin? Okay, yellow is Cowboys. Or no, yellow Chargers.
Yellow
'Cause
should be
they,
Chargers.
Chargers. White Cowboys. Oh no, I guess I'm picking the Cowboys. That's what I get for doing a coin toss.
I don't know if Pollard stays on his game and so does Gallup. They do have a chance, but
We'll have to keep the Pog in mind, see what his record is after this week. You know, it was in 2 games, so we'll see what the Pog record is.
Right.
yeah.
It could be like the magical dog that throws the ball down the stairs and it goes into the basket or whatever it is. You know, it's funny how everyone has their pets making picks now. I have a Pog that will make the pick.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we used to have our Super Bowl picks with our dog Minnie before she passed. She actually was pretty good at that. But that brings us to the end of another sports week. Should be good. Pretty interesting in fantasy. Decent. I think it's a better matchup NFL wise this week than last week. Last week's matchups just did not seem very, very pleasing. Matt, before we leave though, we got to know: are you taking the quarterback from Little Giants or Russell Wilson?
Dude, well, which quarterback from the Little Giants am I getting? The ice box, Jackie, or am I getting who was the fella? I know it was that Devin Sawa kid, but which quarterback am I getting? You know, I guess I would take both. I mean,
Take both over Russ?
well, again, here we go with this. Russ is putting up numbers, but what's his record with Denver right now? Was this his 4th win?
I mean, an interception
Year and
is
a
a
half?
number, Matt. A fumble is a number, so you're correct.
Yeah.
Those
But
are
I think
numbers.
he's thrown more touchdowns than he has bathrooms in his thing, and that took all season last year.
Yeah. And he also
Yeah.
has more sacks than he does bathrooms too, right?
Right. He
Well,
also,
yeah, that's not the point.
if you watch that game last week, he started to look like Russell Wilson last year. He looked scared. He was holding on the ball longer. He was throwing bad passes at the ground with no receivers. I don't know. I think if he keeps getting hit like he was, it might not be good. Matt, here's another. This one could be hard. I know. Val Kilmer, I know it was just beach volleyball in Top Gun, but would you take him over Russell Wilson?
Oh, Val Kilmer.
I mean, remember, he was also Batman and Doc Holliday, so he's very versatile. I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, dude, I would take Keanu Reeves in The Replacement as their quarterback. You know what I mean?
Adam
Give me
Sandler.
So there's your guys' weekly Where's Russ a meter. We have seen him just dropping. Matt did send us in the sports chat a just dropping graph after that fumble, which I still think he was trying to throw it out of bounds. I think that was a design. Let's throw it out of bounds, and it didn't make it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I don't know. He's got a lot to prove right now, and I think more Denver fans are starting to see it now. I mean, the overgrown frustration in Colorado right now with the Broncos is just it's hitting an all time high right now. I mean, last year was a huge letdown. Everyone got excited because Hackett and Russell were coming in to save the team, and then Hackett didn't work out. So this year you bring in Sean Payton, and this is, the guy. This is the GOAT. He's the one that's going to lead the Broncos back to, what they were, being a proud franchise, and they're doing quite the opposite. The Broncos are in a downward spiral, and I think they have the right ownership there. I think they need a new GM. They've got a few years to get this thing rebuilt, but I go back to John Elway as his role, and the Pat Bowlen trust, not Pat Bowlen himself, but his trust when he passed really screwed the Broncos organization up, and they've got a ways to go, but they will rebuild. It's just not with who they have now.
Yeah.
They need to rebuild the whole damn team.
Yeah, Broncos hemorrhaging money right now, as they just got rid of their $70 million signing, Randy Gregory. So, $70 million to one guy this year, dead cap 100 and some million to Russ. That's not good. Two players, almost your entire cap, not a good sign. Ty, any fun matchups you're looking forward to in wrestling?
Huh. I haven't even really been able to look at the slate, dude. I've been in doctor's appointments. I've got a boot on. I broke my foot.
Yeah.
I really haven't watched much, but I'll have to take a look.
Okay, how about this?
WrestleMania 40.
If you had to pick a wrestling game, which wrestling game, video game are you picking?
From past and present?
Yep. Entire catalog. Could be N64 if you want. There's some good ones on N64.
No way.
What are you going?
Here comes the pain.
Brock Lesnar.
That was always fun to play.
Brendan, what about you? Any sports games? What sports games do you like to play usually?
Usually go Madden or NHL, depending. I was really big. I don't know why I really stopped, but I was really big. It's probably because I had to work on Sundays most of the time until recently. I really liked, simulating the games before the week or
I don't know.
not. So, yeah.
And Scott, how did your hockey game go this past weekend?
He's on mute.
Scott, did your guys' team win this past Saturday?
Not getting an answer here.
I wonder if he turned his sound off.
Maybe.
Might have. He's not even looking at his screen, dude.
We might have some technical difficulties.
It's been happening a lot with a lot of electronics.
All right. Well, I will go back. We do have a book review coming out, sports related. It's Glory of Their Times. Pretty fun look at early days baseball. I do recommend it. Late 1800s, some early 1900s, and it was a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. Stay tuned. There's going to be a review tomorrow. If you want a football one, there's the autogram one. I know I kind of just grabbed it for the bit, but it's pretty fun. And I just got one. It's about the Steagles, the Eagles Steelers combo. So I'll let you guys know how that is. If you guys are in Colorado, Saturday, October 14th, so this upcoming Saturday, Matt and I and the group of Culz are going to be doing a presentation as well as watching a movie, kind of going over some ghost stuff, maybe doing kind of a soft investigation at the Eagles here in Castle Rock, Colorado. Pretty excited. Matt, do you want to add anything to that?
YouTube.
I think it's going to be a good time. We got right now we got to check and see what the age range is of the families that do come. But we have the Haunted Mansion, the newest one by Disney, which is rated PG-13 on tape. Sounds like they're going to have a big spaghetti dinner the night before. There could be some leftovers, so there could be some food provided. If not, you're encouraged to bring your own food. You just can't bring in any drinks. It is a bar, so they have beverages for sale that you could buy, but they do allow you to bring in your own food. And I think it's going to be a good time. If you've ever wondered about the paranormal world, what type of equipment, do we use when we go out on our little investigations? We don't have the proton packs like the Ghostbusters do. We don't have really cool lasers, and well, we do have lasers. I take that back.
We do have laser grids.
Yeah, we don't have the cool lasers like they had in Ghostbusters. I wish, but we don't. But yeah, no, come on out to the Eagles Club for sure. It'd be good to see some of our fan base out there.
Yeah, it's 6
All right, guys, hey.
p.m.
I got to
Yeah.
bounce here. You guys can text me through the text.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Meet up next week.
Yeah, 6 p.m. here, Castle Rock, 1300 Caprice Drive here, Castle Rock, Colorado, 80109. Come join us, like Matt said. You can bring some food in if you'd like. There's quite a few restaurants around the Eagles. There's lots around Castle Rock, so no problem there. They do have an active bar in there, obviously, so lots of good drinks and reasonably priced. Castle Rock has a lot of not reasonably places to go drink, so this one much better. You can get a couple drinks for under $10. Well, probably 3 drinks under $10. So good deal. Or the bucket of beer, I think, is $15. So if you want to come join us, we'll be talking, like Matt said, old ghost stuff, paranormal, I should say, ghosts, cryptids, UFOs. We've talked about them all, and we're more than happy to discuss anything with you, even if it's just history. Maybe you just enjoy some of the locations we've been to and want to know a little bit more about them. We're more than happy to talk to you guys. But until next time.
See who I need to trade, I wonder, for my fantasy team this week. Because I don't know who to trade off or something.
Yeah, we'll see. But until next time, if you guys would like to see more cool sports chat, a link at some point it's going to pop up on the left. I got to get better at those. For more about us here at Culz Paranormal, click a link to your right. As far as I know, it is going to be a review, Culz review about a Chad Kalick film. Oh, that was a thing that me and Sam did. Matt's about to sit through those as well. He's super excited. Look at that. So excited. And don't forget to hit like, give us a subscribe, and let us know if there's a sports book, movie, or video game we should be the ones checking out. Until next time, guys.
Yeah.
So, Keegan, I hate to tell you,